Well, good evening, and welcome to another edition of the Leadership Edge. I'm your host, Dr. P. Ronald Wilder. Listen, the Leadership Edge is dedicated to leadership, all things leadership. We talk about leadership, nothing else. We don't know everything there is to know about leadership, but we do know quite a bit, and those nuggets we want to share with you today. And so thank you for tuning in. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Your week is off to a great start. You had a great day at work or school or whatever today, and now you're sitting down enjoying dinner. And what best way to conclude your day than by getting some leadership nuggets from the doctor here at the Leadership Edge. Now, before I get into talking about what I'm going to talk about today, do me a favor. You're watching this podcast on BGTV Studios Facebook page. I need you to hit the like button. I need you to hit the share button, okay? Like BGTV Studios so that you can be notified whenever they do live broadcast, and also share. Sharing is important because every one of us have tributaries of our social media platforms and stretches. They go different ways, and so if we all share, it allows BGTV Studios reach to go far beyond than the normal. Okay, and so please hit the share button. Also, you're watching on BGTV Studios YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. We want to build up that subscriber list. When you hit subscribe to BGTV Studios on YouTube, it allows you to have access to all the archives of great podcasts. There are a lot of great podcasters on BGTV Studios, men and women who have great stories and great messages. And so you want to have access to that. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Okay? Well, thank you. All right. Let's talk leadership. You know, I've been doing these leadership edges for about a year and a half, and it's been a great ride, a great run here on BGTV Studios. We're looking forward to, a continued run. But I love talking about leadership because I believe that leadership is the buzzword in our society today. I think everybody, wants leadership, needs better leadership. And so we're here to fill that void and to give you that edge you need in your leadership portfolio. Now, what I want to talk about tonight in the next few weeks are the challenges of leadership. The challenges of leadership. That would be the subject matter for tonight. This will probably be part one. And I wish I can tell you that leadership was all smooth sailing. Okay, I wish I can say that when you become a leader and the burden of leadership was just, you get there and you just sail off on the yellow brick road like Dorothy was going looking for the Oz. You know, it's not that. Leadership has challenges. Leadership carries a great burden. And so you have to recognize that and then embrace that as a leader, that they're challenges you're going to face. There's no way to alleviate them. You cannot be exempt from them. You cannot pray and hope that they don't come. It's a part of leadership. It's not the issue of never having challenges, but the way we handle those challenges, the way we navigate those challenges, the way we move beyond those challenges, the way we turn those challenges into victories and blessings for us as leaders and for our organization. So we're going to talk about that. Been studying leadership for many, many years. I've studied some of the great leaders in our land today, and that's Christian leaders, that's ministerial leaders, business leaders, political leaders. And what I found out is that the challenges of leadership are the same in every genre, whether you're in ministry like I am, whether you're a business person, whether you're in the corporate America, whether you are the president of the United States, whether you are the president of a college, whether you are a coach of an athletic team, athletic director. The challenges of leadership basically are the same. Okay? So we're going to talk about some of those challenges. I've identified 8 challenges that leaders face today. 8. I'm sure there are more. And you might email me and send me some, but I just want to deal with 8 different challenges that leadership faces. The first challenge we'll talk about is the people challenge. The people challenge. Okay, there's a people challenge in leadership. Okay, because leadership is all about people. Because why? Because what am I doing? What makes me a leader? What makes me a leader is that I'm leading people. Okay? If I don't have no people, I'm not a leader. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, he who thinks he leads and no one follows is only taking a walk. Okay? So if I'm out here going somewhere and I call myself a leader and I look behind me and there's nobody following, there's nobody trailing me, guess what? I'm not leading. I'm just taking a walk. So what makes us a leader is that we lead people. As a leader, I have come to understand, and I teach this everywhere I go, that as a leader, people are our most important asset. People are our most important asset, okay? At the same token, people become our biggest challenge too. So the people challenge, that's a challenge of leadership. And again, because people make us the leader. In other words, what makes me a leader is that people are following me. What makes me a leader is that I'm influencing somebody, some people. What makes me a leader is I'm impacting some people. What makes me a leader is I'm directing some people, okay? So you can't separate people from leadership. They're intricately linked together, okay? And so leadership is always filled with people issues and people challenges, okay? I don't care how big an organization is, how massive it is, how great it looks. They have their set of people issue and people challenges. Read my lips on this one. No one is immune to the leadership challenges of people or the people issues. No one. They come with the territory, okay? You look at some leaders, and I look at leaders, and they look like and they're great leaders, and they got it all together. And you go around their organization, and you see the excellence, you see things flowing, you see things happening, and you think that they don't have a problem in this world. You think certainly they have no issues, but you'll be surprised when you get behind the scenes and get into the inner workings of it. You'll find that the very same people issues you having, guess what? They're having. The very same people challenges you having, guess what? They're having. No one is immune. I don't care how good it looks. No one is immune. It's kind of like marriage. Okay? It's kind of like marriage. I'm married. Some of you have been married many years, okay? You don't stay married many 50 and 40 and 30 and 20 years by accident. You got to put some intentionality in there, okay? And no matter how good a couple looks and how good they dwell together and all of that publicly, yes, and that's great. But you understand that there's a long-term marriage. They've had to overcome some stuff. They've had the same issues that others had. Sometimes the same issues that broke others up, they just overcame theirs and won. In other words, the same issues of marriage. We all fight the same battles, the same challenges of merging two lives together, two personalities, two histories. It's all up, amen. So it doesn't mean that they're not a good marriage. It just means that they overcame the challenges. No one is immune from the challenges of marriage, just like no one's immune from the challenges of life. Life has certain challenges. Life has certain things it's going to throw at you. Life going to try you. Yes, it is. Life is going to come at you. And you got to be determined to win at life. Okay? Life is not going to give you anything. You have to take from life. I got my cell phone in my hand right here. If you were to dial my cell phone number right now, and I didn't answer this phone, guess what? My voicemail going to come on. Here's what my voicemail going to say. It will say, life, hello, this is Dr. P. Ronald Wilder. Life does not give you what you deserve, but rather what you demand. So today, begin to demand the very best in life. That's my message to you. Now leave me yours, okay? That's my voicemail. But what does it say? Life don't give you what you think you deserve. Life gives you what you demand, so you have to take it. No one's immune from life. So when it comes to leadership, how talented you are, how gifted you are, how much charisma you got, no one is immune to the challenges of people and the people issues of leadership. The real issue is, what do you do with it? What do you do? Now, as leaders, we are developing people because that's our job, is to take people and use them in their gifts and talents to better advance the company, the organization, the church, the ministry, whatever it may be, so that and to raise up leaders to take certain parts of the organization. But at the same time, guess what? We're also always looking for new people to bring in the leadership. Why? Because you always need new people coming in. Because people are getting older, people are retiring, people are moving on. So what you need to have people in place to replace. It becomes I don't want to call it a revolving door. That's not the right word, because the revolving door makes it sound like it's ugly and people just coming and going. No, yeah, they are coming and going, not necessarily for bad reasons, but just because the issues in course of life. Okay? So for example, I have leaders in my church with me right now who have been with me for 20 and 25 years. Okay? Well, 25 years ago, we were a lot younger. We felt like we could run through hell, with a gasoline can in our hand. That's how we felt. Or with a water pistol, because we felt we can conquer the world. And we've grown together for all these years. But now, at the end of the day, guess what? It's 25 years later. So we're older. We're at a different stage. So we see that our end, and in terms of our end, I'm not talking about the end of life, but the end of our leadership effectiveness is near. So we got to have, guess what? Replacements coming behind. So that's what I mean when you say you're always looking for new people, because the cycle of life. And then the people who we bring in, guess what? In 20 years, they'll be looking for somebody. This is a cycle. So you're always looking for new people who can help us, who can help take us to the next level, who can push us to the next dimension. So we're looking for new people. Now, in leadership, there are three kind of people you're going to encounter. Three kind of people. You're going to encounter people where you used to be. I used to be here, and there's still people there. What I got to do, I got to reach down and assist them to try to bring them up. But you're going to meet people who where you used to be. And the problem sometimes with leaders is don't let people get you stuck where you used to be. If you used to be there, that's fine, but you're not there no more. Okay? So I'm not going to let you pull me back to that place. My goal is for you to come up, but I'm definitely not going back there. Yes, you did. I know you remember when, but we're not there no more. That was then, this is now. Okay? So the best use of leadership authority, the best use of leadership power is to do what? Is to help others succeed. Help them come up. Help them rise up. So you have people where you used to be. And then you got people who are going where you're going. So you'll meet people where I used to be. But at the same time, I'm going to meet people who are where I'm trying to go. We're on the same journey. Okay? So the people where I used to be, I reach down to. The people go where I'm going, I reach out to, because we appear. We're heading the same direction. We're going to the same place. That's the people. Here's the deal. If you surround yourself with people and all the people around you are where you used to be, guess what? You're not going to get any further than where you used to be, because they can't motivate you. They can't challenge you. They can't drive you. Okay? But now when you get around people where you're going, you understand that the train is moving and I'm reaching out to them. They're moving. If I'm going to get where I'm going and they going where I'm going, I got to keep the pace. Okay? I got to keep the pace. And so that's why we need people going where we're going, because they help us keep the pace. Okay? They help us keep the pace. We don't stop because they're moving. Hey, the train moving. Stay in step. And so we stay in step. That's people who are going where we're going. Then the third kind of people you're going to encounter is people who are where you want to be. You're going somewhere, but you hadn't got there yet. But now you see people who are where you're trying to go. They at the place you want to be. So remember, the people who I used to be, I reach down to. The people who are going where I'm going, I reach out to. The people who are where I want to be, I reach up to. Okay? I reach up to them. Why? Because I want them to grab me and help pull me up. Okay. I'm helping folk who I used to be if they want to be helped. I'm running with people who are where I'm going, but I got my eyes on the people where I want to be because they're the ones going to inspire me. They're the ones that's going to challenge me. They're the ones that are going to tell me the price that is paid to get to that level. Okay, so you always need people you're looking up to. I know some leaders, they get intimidated by people who are sharper than them. They get intimidated by leaders, people who are where they, and they try to constantly pull people down. But I want to get around people where that know more than me, that's sharper than me. I don't have to be the smartest person in the room. I don't want to be. And I know when I get in that room around people who I want to be, guess what? I'm not an equal in there. And so what do? I shut up and I listen. I close my mouth and I give attention. I get my mind locked into what they're saying. And like my mind, like a computer, I'm typing down what they're saying. I'm recording it and I'm filing it away because I'm going to pull that file up later on. That's where you need to be, around people who are where you want to go. You will never get where you want to go if you never look up to people who are already there. And you don't look up with envy and jealousy. You look up with admiration, with respect, and with honor. Okay? So, now, what do you do when people are where you used to be? And you might even have people in your arena of influence in your organization, but you're moving forward and they don't want to go. You're moving forward, but they want to stand still. What do you do there? Here's a painful leadership lesson and a painful leadership challenge. You have to understand that there are times when we need to disengage. The times we need to disengage. And if you don't disengage, and disengaging can be painful because sometimes we got to disengage from people who we like, who we have a relationship with. But you have to disengage because it's detrimental to your growth because you're trying to go here and they're not trying to go there. You have to get your eyes on the prize. You have to get your eyes on the goal. And everything, whether that thing be events, places, or even people, everything that distracts you from that goal, you have to disengage. You have to let it go. You have to disconnect. Some people don't know how to disconnect. I'll give you a perfect example. We see it a lot with young professional athletes, especially young African-American professional athletes. I can speak about this because I'm African-American. Some of the young brothers. And sometimes when the brothers have grown up in certain environments, in the African-American community, we might call it the hood. And you develop friendships and you develop relationships. You develop what I call, you get your posse, people like that. And y'all are friends growing up. All of a sudden, you make it out. This guy gets past it. He grew up in a culture that was crime-ridden and different things, but he got out because he's a star athlete. He makes it to college on a scholarship, whether it be football or basketball or whatever. And now he's in the NBA, and he's making millions of dollars. And maybe just signed an extension for hundreds of millions of dollars. You're talking about generational wealth now. And I have seen guys like that. Because now, when you work for the NBA, you're in a different category, you're in a different class. The owners of these teams have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in you. Okay? So now there's a different expectation. You are in a different arena. You in rooms that you didn't even know exist. You go places, you see things, you see a life that you didn't know exist. And yet you try to bring your boys into that. And they don't have the capacity to expand their thinking. They can't grasp what's going on because this is a whole different world. And as a result, they stay in the environment that they were in. And as a result, you try to maintain that. And what happened to those guys? They get in trouble. Because they're trying to hang out with the guys. They're trying to, and they don't understand that at this point, either they have to adjust or I got to disengage. It's a tough thing, but it's a reality. And sometimes leadership is like that. You're going to a different place. You growing, you thriving, you moving. But some of the people that came with you, that were with you at level 1, they can't grasp level 3 because there's a different mindset. Each level brings a different mindset. Each level brings different challenges. And you have to change your mindset when you're doing what you're doing. It's like school. High school has one mindset. College has another mindset. You go to grad school, it's a whole different mindset. You're going to get a PhD, a doctorate, it's another different mindset. And each time that mindset is higher and demands a higher level of discipline and commitment. You can't get a doctorate with a high school mentality. You can't get a doctorate with a high school mentality and verbiage of things. No. You have to change it along the way. I remember when I was working on my master's, and the requirements that took, I had to get into a different zone. You have to lock in a different place. I couldn't hang out like I used to and write all the papers and read all the books and do all the things that I had to do. No, because I had to disengage. Because why? That was my goal. Leadership is the same way. You have to see what the goal is. And sometimes you have to disengage from some people. Sometimes the people don't want to come up where you're going because they don't want to pay the price. They don't want the discipline. And then sometimes they just can't comprehend. They can't understand. They can't see. It's kind of like somebody in the 3rd grade cannot understand algebra. No matter how much you try to talk to them, their mind can't calculate it at this. They will in someday, but at 8, 9 years old, they can't calculate algebra. They have to do the 1 + 1 and do the beads. It's the same way with some people. You moved on to algebra, they still at general math. And so you have to sometimes disengage. It's a hard reality. But it's a true reality. Listen, wow, this has been great. My time is almost up. So we'll get more into this on next podcast. The people challenge, the challenge of people. It doesn't mean we don't love people. You can't lead people if you don't love them. Okay, we love people. We love being around people, but we understand that there are times when disengagement is necessary. And if you don't disengage, and we'll talk about this next week, there's a certain level of pain it will bring you. Sometimes engagement brings pain. Other times disengagement brings pain. Listen, my time is up. We're getting ready to close. Amen. We'll pick this back up next week. Now listen, do me a favor. I want you to visit my website, www.pronaldwilder.com. It should pop on the screen for you, www.pronaldwilder.com. When you visit that website, you'll be able to purchase my book. I'm holding it in my hand. It's the ABCs of Leadership. Principles for Personal Development. Wrote this book several years ago. Yeah, they go to the website on the stage, on the screen, www.pronaldwilder. Also a copy of the book. This will help you in your leadership repertoire. Pick it up. Also, while you're on my website, go to my shop page. That's under shop, and you'll find all my leadership teachings. There's some great leadership teachings there. The Maximus Principle, the 10 Commandments of Leadership, Rules of Engagement, 10 Keys to Effective Leadership, observations on leaders, just a lot of good stuff. The Best Buy, you can download those and have them for you. The Best Buy on my website is the Jump Drive. I'm holding in my hand. It's a thumb drive with every one of my leadership teachings on that website on here, and this will cost you less than half of what if you bought all of those individually on the website. So the Best Buy is the bundle package. Get it here. Okay? All right. Last thing. I want to appeal to you to be a supporter of BGTV Studios. This is good ground. This is a good platform that God has raised up that allows voices like mine and others to have a voice to speak to the nation and to the world with our message. But it depends on your support. We need your support. The ways to give are going to pop on the screen for you. There are 3 ways you can give. You can go to the website, BGTV Studios. You can go to Venmo, or you can Cash App. You can use your phone to scan those QR codes. Do me a favor. Give a good one-time offering or become a monthly giver. But support BGTV Studios. Now, every dime you give goes to the direct keeping of BGTV Studios. We, the podcast, don't get one dime. We don't receive one thing. Matter of fact, I myself personally am a supporter of BGTV Studios. Okay? All right, listen, my time is up. Got to go. We're going to pick this up next Tuesday. Listen, until then, this is your host, Dr. P. Ronald Wilder, reminding you that leadership matters and leaders lead. I'll see you on next Tuesday.